show the gut, the side. Look at that thing, man. Like, that, to me, looks like a PB. What do you think? That's going over 5. No, it's not 5, but holy crap. Dude. Damn right. That's a 4. Dude. 4 pounders after bat. Here we go. Oh my god. Dude. Good job, man. Look at that. I have big hands. That thing's huge. Girthy. That's triple C thick. We're calling them today, boys.
Hey, we're live.
Hello.
How's it going, everybody?
I'm doing
Welcome
great.
to
How
the
are
show.
you?
Shut the hell up.
How was your day?
It's not bad. Oh man, that camera's gonna be right in the way of the chat for me. Oh, whatever, I'll live.
It's okay.
If I were smart, I would have shifted the TV further to the right, but hey,
It's okay.
that's why
I can see it.
I can see. I gotta lean like way over so I can actually read names. We got Vance, Ronald, Jason Huberty, Jack, David. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope you're all ready for this one. Be another good one. Tonight we were joined by Jamie from Samadas Baits Incorporated.
This dude right here.
What about? Yeah, oh yeah. Just support him right there.
Support this.
Get out of here. We got friggin' Jason, Crazy Hick Bait Company. We got Jerry. How's it going, everybody? We'll get this started in a minute here, as always. Give it a couple minutes for people to join in, and we'll roll into it. We got quite a few things to cover tonight. I have literally not sneezed all night. All day.
You suck.
Are you kidding me? Literally the first time I sneeze all day, right as this freaking stream starts. That's some luck right there. Vance, Expo was great. We're going to cover that, both from our perspective and Jamie's perspective. It was a good time, man. It was a really good time. Saturday was...
Minus the snow on Saturday, but...
Yeah, that really hampered things. But from what I heard from pretty much everybody I talked to, Friday was a banger of a day, and Sunday was a little bit better than expectations. So kind of evened out for the whole weekend. It's kind of the vibe I got from everybody.
Could have been a lot worse.
That's true. Who's that?
Yeah,
Ronald.
I drove down Saturday I left work at 11:30 in the middle of it.
Yeah, it's like dead center of it.
It was horrible.
Better than me.
Not
I
a good
stayed
job.
home on my couch.
Did you?
I had John
Ugh.
Army working the booth all day. He was staying there and he volunteered, so I said, hey.
Yeah, he was harassing me all friggin' weekend. Every time I walk by, he'd say something mean. I would like to report an employee of yours, please. May I see your manager?
Nothing.
Who else we got? Ronald, still catching bass in Rhode Island. River at the end of the street before waterfall. Smallmouth getting aggressive. Hell yeah, dude. That's what I like to hear. I know, Brian, we missed you. It's all good, buddy. Thank you for the gift.
Yeah, it was great. It's still great. It's going to be great for a little bit here.
All right, good enough. Let's get into it. First and foremost, obviously, thank you, everybody that's here to watch tonight. We greatly appreciate it. If you could take a moment, you haven't done so yet, drop a like on the stream. For those that did share it, greatly appreciate it. As always, you guys, I've said it every single episode. I'm going to say it every single episode moving forward. What you do to help support us to make this show grow has absolutely had a measurable impact for what we do. It just continues to grow. Things have been great. Like, I can't thank you enough. We can't thank you enough. So,
Right.
For people that are doing that, greatly appreciate it. Keep it up every time you share it, especially in like different like Facebook fishing groups on Instagram, and especially forums, like all those places. Like, that's been huge. Like, I've started to see when people share it, they're posting it to like the New Hampshire Fishing Facebook group and things like that. And it's definitely paying off. So thank you very much for those that do it. Beyond that, for donations, we are, I forgot to update it. I actually think it says 745 But I think we're at $785 out of the $1,200 goal towards all new GoPros for the boat. We're almost there. We've already bought a couple. Thanks to some other support from our sponsors, especially Ben's Tackle Shack. They've been hugely instrumental in us making all these upgrades and everything. It's going to be a hell of a year. Actually, we were thinking about that. We got to get new jerseys made too, because we're doing the whole New Hampshire Bass Nation Trail this year too, and probably a few other tournaments along the way. Aside from that, if you guys want to donate, there's 3 different ways to do it. You can do it right here in the chat if you do have that set up for it through YouTube. Otherwise, down in the video description below, a couple things you find. 1, a link to both our Venmo and PayPal. And 2, and I'm going to put it in the chat in a minute here as well, a link to Jamie's company here, Samadas Baits. And you guys can check him out as we're going along. You can look at the products yourself so you can get a much clearer view, but I'm sure Jamie's got some on hand. I feel like a schmuck. I don't have any on hand. They're in my boat, buried under a foot of snow, because I was at the expo when it was snowing, and I haven't had a chance to even clear my boat off of snow. There's a foot of snow, but it's bad. It's real bad. I pulled in this afternoon. I'm like, crap. We're supposed to get rain tomorrow. It's gonna be.
We're getting more snow this weekend too.
It's gonna be real bad.
Unfortunately,
I know.
Friday we're getting some more snow, so.
Yeah, big time. Oh, what do we got here? Ben Bradley, $10. Thank you very much, dude. Great, appreciate it. Who else we got? Ronald Yeater with $5 too. You guys are the best. Thank you. Right off the bat, getting it off on the right foot.
You could buy 3 Cummy's burgers with that.
You guys are paying for Andrew's bad food habits. All right, enough about everything else. Let's dive into it. And usually at this point we do like a weekend fishing recap, but this time we're going to change it up, and we're going to still do recap, but for the expo. So that'll kind of give us a chance to go over like how things went, especially for you, Jamie, for the New England Fishing Expo. And then from there, we'll dive into, your history as an angler, how you got into fishing, like the whole 9 yards, the history of the company, go over your baits, and then we've got a bunch of questions for you. And in the meantime, chat, any questions you have along the way, fire them out. We'll be sure to answer them, and we'll go from there. So let's start with the weekend recap of the New England Fishing Expo. Andrew, you first.
Me first. Okay. Well, it was a hell of a ride down. I had to work. Oh, oops. I had to work Saturday. The expo was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I couldn't make it Friday because I had to work, and then I had to work Saturday also. But I got out at like 11:30, and headed down there. It's only supposed to be about a 45-minute ride, and it took me about an hour and a half to get down there. I took all back roads because I thought it was going to be safer than going on the highway with a bunch of boneheads. And, well, it was pretty scary. Nothing was plowed, and if it was a sheet of ice, or there was people coming the other way, almost knocked me off the road. So it was sketchy. But the expo itself was a lot of fun. I had a great time. Got to actually meet a bunch of you guys. Got to just see. It was good to see everybody with the off year.
Oh yeah, dude.
Just see everybody. I said Jamie, everybody really.
Yep.
Every vendor there. It was just good to see everybody.
It was actually, that was like the one only benefit really of it being a slow day on Saturday with almost no customers there was like kind of nice for me because there were so many people that I didn't get a chance to catch up with since the last show 2 years ago. I was like, hell yeah. So I walked around. I spent like 5 straight hours just talking to like other business owners and stuff. There's people that are, friends or acquaintances, the whole 9 yards. So it was kind of nice from that benefit.
Right. But you could actually go and actually talk to people and not be like kind of pushed away and
right. Yeah.
They're trying to sell a bunch of stuff and
right.
It's unfortunate that Saturday wasn't super busy. You guys couldn't sell as much as you wanted to, but coming back Sunday, there was a lot more people there. Actually, people were dumping money all over the place.
Oh my God. I don't even want to talk about how much money I spent. I'll get to that. But next up, let's get to Jamie. Jamie, how was the expo for you as a whole? Just like from your own, like just personal experience from people you got to meet and other vendors you got to talk to if you were doing that. And then especially from a sales perspective, like how'd it go overall?
Overall it was as good as it could be. It's obviously already covered the snow on Saturday, but Friday was busier than a typical Friday, I think, because I think a lot of people are just trying to get there and they probably figured they weren't getting there Saturday. And then Sunday wasn't as busy as we were hoping. but I think that was because people start digging their cars out and realize, like, I don't really feel like driving there now.
Yeah.
I would sit around and watch football or do whatever. But all in all, it was a good show. Like you said, it's been some time now since there have been any expos. So it was nice just getting there. I'm sure, just like everyone else, we were a little rusty, forgot an extension cord, forgot, just stuff. Normally the trail is packed during expo season. We have everything in there we need, and we're ready to rock. But yeah, all in all, it was it was a good show. We were happy. We sold a lot of baits. Saw a lot of people. Some people at those shows I only see at those shows. You know what I mean? They buy stuff online, things like that, but actually seeing the people is kind of my favorite part. So we had a good crew working our booth, and that was all. I think I was very happy with the show.
Nice. Happy to hear it, man.
We are just real quick. We are extending. It's not exactly the same price as we had at the expo. Setting that up would kind of be a nightmare on the website, but it's 35% off all of our plastics on our website right now. It's going until Sunday. So if you didn't get to come to the show, or maybe you came to the show and you bought something, you're like, man, I really like this, or you didn't try something, or whatever it may be, for any reason, you want to go buy some more plastics, is 35% off all soft plastics on the website right now. So just
nice. Can't beat that.
I always hear
people that couldn't make it,
Yep.
Every time I mention Samadas Baits to people who actually fish, they're like, the slobsters.
Dude, they're legit. They're freaking awesome. There it is. The big boy.
I still have the big bag of the big orange ones.
Yep.
I'm going to throw this year for sure.
I fished that a lot, just trimmed down and just fished it as like just this part, just as like a chunk, just like a chunk trail. Got a lot of big fish on it this year. Well, last year, 21.
Right.
Nice.
I'm definitely going to do it. I can't wait.
From my perspective for the expo, it was great. Like I wasn't there Friday. I had to work. And then it was my youngest son turned 5 on Friday. So I ended up being at work late anyway, got back, the whole 9 yards. I got down there well before open on Saturday, just like Andrew, had quite the hairy ride. It just got worse and worse because I was coming from, southern New Hampshire down into Boxborough, and it was just, that's where the heavier band of snow was. So it was an interesting ride in. I would say probably like the first hour of the show was where pretty much like 90% of the people came in. But understandable. It was a blizzard. We haven't had a blizzard like this in several years. And it was crazy out there. So a lot of people seemed to opt to stay home. But it gave me the opportunity to talk to a lot of vendors. And from everybody that I spoke to, they said Friday was great. Didn't sound like anybody was displeased with it. A lot of people, took heed of the storm and got there on Friday so that they didn't have to worry about it for Saturday. And it seems like everybody's really happy with it. Sunday was crazy. I got there like 10 minutes before it opened because it typically would have been 10 to 5, but they, Dan decided to open it from 9 to 5 to help make up for closing a little bit early on Saturday and just most people not coming on Saturday. Right. And right out of the gate, like right as soon as they opened, there was quite a few people in there, and it was just like a really consistent kind of trickle of people that came in pretty much all day, right up until like 4 o'clock.
Pretty much right around to the end.
Yep. And then we did the flipping competition at the end of the day. That was fun. Like literally as soon as that wrapped up, everybody, actually I saw a couple of vendors that were already packing up like 350-ish, and then by like 4:15 everybody was packing up and they were getting ready to hit the road. Mm-hmm. But it was great. Dude, I, no joke, talked to subscribers for 5 hours, which was by far the most exciting and humbling experience I've ever had. Like, we do all this, right? And we're trying to turn it into a thing, but it's a lot different now than it was 2 years ago when you go there. And it's like, dude, I think the longest break I had was like 2 minutes in between people. And the moment, like, I was done having a conversation with somebody else came in, and it was amazing. Absolutely amazing. I want to make sure that that's really
I was all over the place. I was like, walk with me.
So it was great. I mean, we had, I didn't tell anybody because I don't have a lot right now, but we decided Sunday, because we had the room, John, working with him for Wicked Custom Rods, he's like, hey man, bring your hats and your decals. They'll set up a table. You know, if you have a table too, it's like, yeah, actually I got a perfect little 2 foot by 4 foot. It was sold actually a ton of hats and decals. Like, it was a great experience. I got to, you know, help run the flipping competition, which was a ton of fun. It was primarily vendors. It will be because of a lot of things that happened. It was bestowed upon me very late in the week, and work was so crazy I didn't have time to like really do it the way I wanted to be able to help get the word out. Like, I tried making a flyer, but I couldn't get the thing printed in time, the whole 9 yards. So for the New Hampshire Outdoor Expo, we're going to get this thing tight, and it's going to be great for that. But I mean, dude, overall, like that expo was a ton of fun. I didn't stop moving all day Saturday and all day Sunday. I drove home in that snowstorm Saturday so I could clear the driveway for the family Sunday morning. I was out in my driveway at 5:30 in the morning, snow blowing. I think it was actually 6. And dude, but like when I got home, from walking all day, like I got out of my truck, I was like, ow, oh,
Dude, my back was on fire.
Oh yeah.
I didn't leave my computer chair all day on Monday. Just sat there to do shit.
We got Carl. Carl, it was great to meet you too, buddy. We're gonna get out there fishing this spring. Don't worry about that. So yeah, all in all, it was a great experience. You know, if you guys missed out, you missed out on a ton of amazing products from a ton of great vendors that were there. But I do believe the vast majority of them are going to be at the New Hampshire Outdoor Expo in Milford, New Hampshire, at the Hampshire Dome in March. And I all of a sudden forgot the dates. I think it's March 11th through 13th, but I may be confusing those numbers with the April one. I'll look it up when we get into a conversation later, and I'll put it in the chat. But yeah, all in all, it was a great time. So looking forward to the next one. And of course, next year, every year, this thing seems to grow and it's getting crazy. So it's nice to have that here in New England in the winter for something else to do while we're all waiting for that open water to turn back up again.
Right. I mean, it gives all these local businesses an opportunity to actually get their name out. And
yep.
I mean, just Jamie himself, like the first time I met you, I think it was at the New Hampshire Expo. Pretty sure it was. I bought so many freaking baits from you. And then I saw you at the New England Expo not last year, but 2 years ago. And I think I bought probably 20 or 30 of those Samadas drops or whatever, the drop shot bait you got there.
Samada shot.
Yeah.
Way to do your homework.
I'm
Even I remember that one. It's perfectly said right there.
I'm a freaking mess. Samadas shot. Yeah. I probably bought 20 or 30 bags of those. I still have a couple left.
Yeah, I think I bought, I want to say probably about 10 bags in a variety of colors, and I don't have many left. I need to restock. I meant to at the show.
I think I have 3 bags left.
Dude, I like showed up Saturday morning. I bought swim baits. I got a Piz. I got some stuff from Real Prey. And then my plan for Sunday, like towards the end of the show, was to go around and start buying stuff for everybody. And then with the flipping competition being right at the end of the day, because it just kept getting bumped, I turn around, I'm like, okay, we're done. I look over, I'm like, son of a bitch, everybody packed up.
Everybody's already gone. Damn it. Here's my chance.
Dude, I didn't even get anything from Beast Coast either. Like, I didn't get anything from anybody Sunday. And I just went home.
Negotiate when they
I know.
Come on, we'll give you a little deal here.
I'll remember that for next time. Trust me.
I didn't even bring any money with me. I didn't because last year myself.
Yeah, you did.
Those swim baits, like Piz and all that was insane. People sleeping outside. I was like, I don't get it. I'm not a swim bait guy, so I don't get it. I'll expand upon that for a brief second, but I do want to get into your company and all your products and everything. But the problem with that whole scene is way too many of those guys were there just to flip those baits. And I don't think it matters if we talk pricing, right? Oh, I know somebody got one and they went and sold it for $2,000 that night.
Bingo. No. And they were like, all those guys were putting them up in raffles, and they were averaging like $1,400 to $1,500 in that range. Is what these guys were getting for their baits.
Just use them.
Well, then that's the whole like not issue I have with the swim bait scene.
That's the issue I got with it. You're gonna buy it, use it.
Right.
It's catch fish like, on. It's meant to catch fish.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of anything like that. Like when I got really big into craft beer and like Treehouse was blowing up, like same deal. You know, you try and get a can of Treehouse off somebody and they're like, okay, but you know, it was a $4 can, but you got to pay me $20 because that's what I get it if I sell it online on Facebook and ship it to DC. I'm like, go fuck yourself. I'm not paying $20 for a can of beer. Like, People are, I don't get it, man. And I cannot support just that whole marketplace. You guys do you.
I'll buy 'em and use 'em.
Referred to them as doll collectors. He's like, it's like they. He's like, they're like grown men waiting for their Cabbage Patch. I guess it makes sense, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like all those prices are inflated just because of the flipping market.
It's
it
not
sucks.
fair to the maker either.
No,
that means he's missing out on 10 times as what he's selling his for.
Right. Well,
on each bait.
Right. There's that, and then you think about it too. Like, man, you put in all this time and effort into something you love, and you want to see people fish them, and probably only like 20% of the guys that are buying them are actually throwing the damn baits, right. And then they're flipping it, and you're not getting anything from it. Like, imagine that, Jamie, if 20% of what you sold was being fish, and the rest was just being flipped in the aftermarket, which you never saw anything from for your efforts, going for 9-10x the price. Right. Like it's.
Slobs, I got the OG Slobster. I'm selling $50 for 3 of them.
I guess he can't really be upset though. He got what he was looking for, and
right. So yeah, from that perspective, like he doesn't lose out on money. He set his price. He sold his products. He made his profit. Like
helps
all good at the end of the day.
It helps him because then these guys are flipping it for this, and if you can get in and get one for $240, and someone's selling one for $2,000, you kind of doing all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it does bring people in for next year, too, to get them, and he's always going to sell them.
Right. So.
Anyway.
Onward.
Before we get a bunch of hate mail now.
Well, I mean, I would hope not. It's not like we just sat here and bashed it. We just said we're not a fan of the flipping aspect of that community. So, I mean, if people have a problem with that, it's probably the people that only buy them to flip them.
Probably, yeah.
In which case, I don't care about your opinion. You're not an angler. You're just a friggin'
You're a businessman.
A broker.
Anyway. Broken.
All right, so
Jamie.
Let's start with you, buddy, as a person, as an angler. Tell us a little bit about, I guess, your upbringing from the fishing aspect of it. Like when did you get into fishing? Your experiences growing up, like if you did any tournaments, like the whole 9 yards. Just go through it, however much you want to share, man, and bring it to present day.
So I started fishing as a little kid. I grew up in Wilmington, Massachusetts. There was Silver Lake. Right on 38. Used to get up, ride my bike down there, and my first combo I had was like a eagle claw combo. The first worm I ever threw was a red shad culprit. This is Texas rigged that thing, go down there and learn to fish down there. And then as I started getting a little older, I got away from fishing, found other things. Just
girls
stuff growing up. Got away from fishing.
Constructive things, non-constructive things.
Yeah, I think
we've all been there.
I think my kids might be watching. So, yeah. So then, let's say 2005. I just got home from Afghanistan and bought a house. One of my neighbors. Him and I knew similar people from growing up, but we didn't know each other. And we started, having a beer one night. We're talking about fishing. Man, we should start fishing again. Well, but one thing led to another. I got a crawdad, and he got like a aluminum tracker, and then I got a aluminum boat, and it just kind of went from there. And then from there, I started fishing, small club tournaments, a lot of local like Mass ponds and things like that. And a few years after that, I'm just kind of one of those people that, like, if I see something, I'm like, hey, can I make that? Can I figure this out? So this is before like Facebook bait pages and all of this, like, because now it's crazy. Everybody and their mother owns a bait company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this is back, it was like Tackle Underground, which is still around and stuff, but you had to go on these forums, and it was a really small group compared to today. There was like 3 people in like New England that were on there. That's like probably a big number. There's people from all over the country and stuff. So I went on there and just started learning some things. I bought a few, actually the first mold I ever bought, I've told this story before on Travis's podcast, but first mold I ever bought, it was just like clear plastic. mold and had this little clear injector. It was super like ghetto, like super dangerous. These clips went on it. Like they should not sell this to anybody. It's very, very dangerous. So my wife, this is before we had kids, she was at work. I decided I was going to stop microwaving plastic in the microwave in the house. Like, no idea what I'm doing, and I'm like, so I mix up this stuff, knowing it, overheat it, burns up, the whole house fills up with smoke, there's smoke everywhere. I
Oh
ended up
God.
cleaning it, trying to get it again. I ended up burning my hand doing it. I'm just like, this sucks. Like, what is going on? Back to the drawing board. So I got rid of those molds, got some aluminum molds, got some Presto pots, started making some stuff in the garage, and I started making just, Senkos. I'm like, all right, I fish a ton of Senkos. Like, who doesn't? I can make these. I can make them just as good. I'm sure my first shit, kind of sucked. But as I went on, I got better and better. Slowly got into, building a website. Once I kind of knew what I was doing, I was, bringing stuff to tournaments. Guys liked it. They want to fish it. They saw it. They wanted to buy some. I ended up creating like a little website, and I had a few baits on there, and it was really kind of slow growing from there. It wasn't like I did that and just kind of went full on into it. I kind of would make stuff here and there, had like this half-ass website. And then I started stepping up, and I bought like a little bit bigger stuff, a little bit more hand molds. I got a bunch of silicone molds of like this drop shot bait that we used to make. I was pouring a ton of those. Then I started saying, I'm really spinning my wheels. I'm out in my garage at the time and making baits, but just can't make them fast enough. Losing out time with my family, losing out time fishing. Like, it just takes way too long to make all this.
Right.
So fast forward to, I think, 4 years now, and I decided that I was like, hey, I'm gonna invest some real money into this company and see what I can do with it. So I went down south. I bought a commercial production, like, injection machine. Had a couple custom molds cut, and just started growing from there. You know what I mean? I invested a lot of money into it. My wife was, like, hey, if you think you can do it, like, it's a lot of money that we put in to start it up. And within, I think it was under a year, we had already made enough to pay all that off, and we were, kind of back at zero again.
Right.
Yep.
From there, we just continue to grow our lineup. We keep adding molds. And then I started outgrowing garage, and that's where I am today in the building that we're in now in Kingston, New Hampshire. Just last year, we incorporated this building, and yeah, now we're selling more baits than we could ever imagine.
That's awesome, man. So my question is, who are like, I know you sell to quite a few local vendors. So who are some of those local shops? Aside, like, obviously you have your website, which is pinned there in the chat, people. If you haven't seen it yet, it's right there. If you want to go to his website, you can look at his products as we're talking about it. But on top of that, like, what are some of the major local vendors that you sell your products to, and then like other online vendors? So as people, if people are doing their shopping elsewhere, they can grab your product at the same time.
Yeah, so we're actually, so this year is like the first year we're like really starting to push into shops. We weren't for a long time. We were just direct, and then we do a ton of work with Mystery Tackle Box, like Monster Bass, and those guys. They buy a ton of stuff from us. But yeah, just recently, so we're in Ben's. We're gonna be in Old Glory here very soon.
Nice.
We were in Jim's, RIP, which is no longer there. Jim in Billerica, they sold it, and then the people that bought it kind of just dismantled the whole fishing section, so that's kind of sad.
Oh, it's too bad.
He just recently got a shop in Japan, so if you're in Japan, you go to 30 Lures, you can go there and pick up our stuff there, which is pretty awesome.
In Japan?
Nice, that's awesome.
The other shop is Pop's Tackle. They're out of Michigan. And we are working. We have a whole list of upcoming stores that are working on putting in orders now for spring of 2022. So we're starting to grow on that end. We've grown dealing with mystery tackle box, and then just direct online, and now we're taking on like, hey, let's get into more and more shops and just put into more and more hands. Although direct to consumer online is kind of like the future, really.
Yep. No, I believe that. Nice.
So how big is your warehouse or your shop now?
The building right now is 2,200 square feet.
Oh, jeez. That's pretty good
Nice.
size.
We
For bait making, that's a pretty good size.
yeah, we recently added a second machine, so now we have 2 machines running. That way we can keep up with, if we're doing those giant, wholesale orders, we can still keep up with stocking the site and stocking the smaller stores, because that was a problem before, is when we are making, 500,000 baits for these people, that a lot of the other stuff kind of suffered, and that's why we weren't in stores. We were afraid we weren't be able to keep up with both of them, and dealing with someone like Hatchco, Mystery Tackle Box, with their buying so much, it's like, all right, well, I'm not going to really worry about making a few baits to put in shops if we're selling all this and making this. But now we have 2 machines, we're able to keep up with both, and not only our stock here, but keep everyone else happy.
Right.
Nice. I like it.
That's sweet.
There was go ahead.
Yeah, so we're also like my office that I'm here in now. We're talking about opening like a storefront and just having our stuff in here. The problem with that is like having someone sitting here and man it, you know what I mean, and having your set hours and things like that. So
Right.
I'll come hang out a couple hours a
yeah,
week.
it's like if we have someone sitting here all day and someone comes in and buys 30 packs of drop shop baits, it's like, what we might do is like, hey, we're going to be open this weekend. These are our weekend hours, and maybe do like that in like the winter, where some guys just want to come in and buy stuff just to come in because they can't fish,
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and that'd be sick, if you just had a small space dedicated to it. You can kind of do it like they used to do at Northern Bass Supply, right? You can just put one bag out of everything that you offer, and then guy comes up, he says, yeah, man, can I get like 10 bags this, 10 bags that? Yep, sure. Go out back, grab them out of the box, and bring them to him, and that minimizes the setup you gotta have. Yeah, dude, I miss that pad of paper. Did you ever go there?
Which one? I remember.
Northern Bass?
That was the best.
I don't remember. Is that the one you got to write down what you want and then they go get it?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, they
think
literally had like one of everything that they sold out, like on the walls and like display racks and everything, and then had a little tag number.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember like Friday, get out of work, and if you have a tournament on Saturday, it's like, shit, I need this crankbait, I need whatever, but just shoot. It was awesome. It was right here, right up the street, right up 125.
Yep. Yeah, dude, that was like literally the same thing. I'd be out fishing with my buddy, and like at the time they were really open and I was utilizing them the most. That was before I had kids. So I was fishing anywhere from 3 to 5 days a week. Like that was when I was really doing the bulk of my learning, like just overall new stuff, like really expanding my knowledge. Whereas now, like the last few years has been like fine tuning all of that knowledge. So, we'd go out and we'd fish like 2 or 3 days during the work week, even if it was only 3 or 4 hours, but we'd get onto something and it was amazing. And shit, it's Friday. We're going to go like somewhere that it doesn't even matter where we're going, but we either, try and do a small fun tournament, or we're like just going to go out fun fishing, realize not have anything. Not a problem. Friday after work, blast up there, get a bunch of stuff, then go back home and fart around playing video games the rest of the night. But then I'd be set for Saturday. Because before I had kids, I could fish either Saturday or Sunday.
Or both.
It was almost always Saturdays, especially if I was fishing Lakes region. You know how bad the traffic is on the lake and on the drive home on Sundays. Mm-hmm. Saturday's the day to do it.
I
go up there, you get like
that they're gone, because I used to just go in there and just buy stuff.
I spent way more money than I had any right to be spending when I was
That's like how I do at Joe's. I go to Joe's and I'm just like, I'm going there. I need 2 things.
Right.
And I walk out. I have a freaking bag full of shit. I spent $300.
Right.
Every time I leave there, I call you. I'm like, I fucked up.
Yeah, I have 20 things. I needed 1. We did have a question from the chat. Where did it go? Oh, it was Brian Ernest. Do you do all of the work yourself, or do you have any employees? I retire in 5 years, and that would be an awesome retirement job for me. I really need to move that TV. I can't read that chat. You know what? You answer that. I'm fixing my TV.
Okay. So currently we have 2 part-time employees. Sometimes they're full-time, but for the most part, they're part-time. I got one guy that runs the machines. I got someone else that helps with, labeling, packaging, stuff like that. But he can run the machines as well. So right now, yeah, I got 2 employees. My wife helps out here, myself. So, and the kids. Sometimes the kids will come in and label packaging and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we do have staff. We do have employees.
So Brian, in 5 years,
Yeah,
might have a job.
come on by.
Guggen Slayer, yes, Northern Bass Supply was before Tackle Supply Depot. Tackle Supply Depot actually bought Northern Bass Supply.
That is fact.
Yep. And then
We're actually,
Sean's.
I was tempted too to have not only just our stuff here, but maybe go ahead and just get some cool stuff, maybe some harder to get stuff, some like JDM things and stuff like that. And
That would be cool.
I mean,
That would be awesome. And as well as that, like just other stuff that would be complementary to your own products. You know, if you get jigs or something in there, you just throw in some chatterbaits and stuff, or your swim baits, like, you know, like things like that, like, oh yeah, dude, that friggin'.
You got jigs now, don't you?
yeah, so we carry jigs. We're in the process of changing a bunch of that stuff over. The problem with the jigs is us living here in New England, it has to be, lead free.
Non-lead. Right.
Non-lead.
Oh, yeah. The tin bismuth, the metal has gone way through the roof. It's just so expensive now. And I just don't want to deal with, overseas China. I know a lot of companies do it and they carry tungsten, and that's the only place you can get it is China, but it's just not, we carry tungsten Neds, and yeah, they come from China, and it's either that or not carry Neds, because tin bismuth Neds to get them made and do it, it's just not even, you can't even make any money on it right now. It just doesn't make sense. So
No, you're right.
We do have tin bismuth Neds jigs that we carry. We sell them at the show. We kind of keep them just to the show right now, though, because for what we're getting for them and how many we can make and everything else like that, it's not really worth putting on our website and just blowing them out. After the shows are over, if we have anything left, we might just do a blowout on there. But we are going back to the drawing board. We're working on designing a couple of our own jigs, because most of our baits a lot of them are jig trailers. I fish a jig probably 95% of the time on the water. So
I knew I liked him.
Damn right. Should we get Jamie on here? Dude, that guy loves jig fishing. We're getting Jamie on here. Man, cut from the same cloth.
That's all I freaking fish is jigs.
Yeah,
that's
pretty
why
much.
I laugh and everyone's like, swim bait, swim bait, swim bait. And I'm like, good, I'll throw a
Jigs.
half ounce flipping jig and catch a 5-6 pounder the same way you get to throw a $500 swim bait.
Right.
Right, and you can catch like
Multiples.
a lot of them every day from ice out to ice in.
Yeah.
But I mean, and in all fairness to the big swim bait game, because we're just as guilty as getting into it. But it's still just like, for the vast majority of the time, another tool in the toolbox. Like, it's just like anything else.
100%.
There's windows where that bigger bait is just going to get absolutely crushed. We've had plenty of days of doing that. But, last year, especially, and a little bit the year before, we go out, for fun. Okay, let's go out Saturday after work. When he's out of work and I'm done, with everything for the family and doing stuff around the house. Dude, let's just go out and grind a big bait night. We'll get out in the water at like 7 o'clock, crush them on various top water right as the sun's setting, like they always hammer it. And then we'll just grind till like 2 a.m. of that big bait and just hope, for that one giant. It's fun to do that every once in a while, but it's not in my blood to do that on a regular basis. Like I said, it's just another tool in the toolbox.
I like to catch fish.
Yep.
Cam, don't worry. The black magic color is not going anywhere.
Better not. It's like
That's,
I don't even tell you. That's like one of the 2 most dominant colors to have out there.
Mhm.
it's a color. Well, it's a certain color we make that I don't know if everyone has it. It's like a black blue flake with a green pumpkin, blue flake, and black. It's pretty dope. I'll answer a question.
Yep.
Sean Miller, you want to know what color jig, black and blue? I'll be honest. I fish a black jig 365 days of the year.
Hell yeah.
Damn right. It's that's something
I'll change
I
the
had.
trailer color a little, depending on if I fish a black and blue. It's usually like a solid blue with a solid black, like actual skirt. I don't do a whole lot of black blue flake on my jig.
Nice. Crazy Hick Bait Company takes notes.
Take all the notes you need, bub.
To your point though, Jamie, about the whole like tin bismuth thing, I was talking to Jim, the owner at Rocky Ledge Tackle at the show, and he was saying the same thing because, one of the biggest things about Rocky Ledge, especially being a New Hampshire-based company, is they are lead-free. He's pretty much all tin bismuth, and he was telling me,
Pewter.
David telling me, oh, sorry, pewter. I'm looking at the comment from David Toll, and I'm thinking tin biz. The pewter he buys, he said even that, like the price has skyrocketed. Mm-hmm. And he got lucky where he was able to find a bunch from a company. I forget what they made, but he got what did he say? Like 100 pounds of it?
Yeah,
something like that.
He got like a boatload. It was like a toy something maker or something,
Yeah.
Jeez.
So he was able to kind of delay the increase in costs, but I'm sure you're facing it too. It's literally across the board. We're talking to Joe at Grand State Rod and Reel last time I was in there to buy stuff, and he was like, hey man, just to let you know, next time you come in here, it's probably going to be sticker price shock, because literally all of my suppliers are telling me it's 20 to 30% increase on everything. There is no exclusions on this. Everything is going way up real fast.
Plastisol, the plastic that we use has gone like through the roof, and we buy a lot, we're buying anywhere from, if we order 8 drums, that's like just a quick little fill. We're ordering 24, 32 drums at a whack, like 55 gallons.
I was literally about to say, like, when you say drum, do you mean like a legit drum? And yeah, you do.
Yeah, and so like we're still ordering a ton, unless yes, we get like a good price on it, but that's still climbing. You know what I mean?
Yep. It's
nuts, man. I don't know how people are keeping. We had to raise all of our prices, and people get it. People still pay it, and it is what it is. I'm not sitting there. Yep. I'm not Scrooge McDuck diving into my pool full of money here and spitting up coins laughing. We're just covering the additional cost that we have for supplies and everything. Everything's going up. Yep. Shipping and everything.
God,
that's crazy
per barrel.
Yeah. Well, all right. So with all that in mind, let's talk about your baits, because we talked a lot about the history of the company, the things you've done, the store. Let's go over all your baits, man. I don't care what you want to start with. It's entirely up to you. I know we got the chunk, you've got your Samadas shot, the mini slopster, the medium slopster, the Chromatis, the swim Mattis. I do have to look at this one because the Samadas stick. Samastic. That's what it is. Samastic. I mispronounced it.
Samsonite.
A lot of people like
Samson. It was way off. I'm sorry.
A lot of people are always, messing him up, and it is what it is. That's basically like our version of like the Senko. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And we just added it because it's just one of those. Everyone fishes one. You know what I mean? If you look at my boat, it's like I got a jig, I got a Senko, a stick bait, and a top water or something on, but that's pretty much it. All right, so I'll start off with, I don't know how good this is gonna be here.
Oh yeah, you can see it.
Come down, perfect. Come down just a smidge and back up like a couple inches. Perfect. There you go, buddy. I increased the size of your screen capture here too, so you get a little more screen space on this.
So that is our Samadas shot. It's 3 1/4 inches. I would say that's probably our #1 selling bait. We sell a ton of those. A little really drop shot bait. That was our first mold we cut for our new machine, and we just knew that we wanted that bait. We sell a ton. It's for our region, Northeast. If you're you ever fish for a small or even largemouth, just drop shots, just a really good technique, you know what I mean? And so we knew we had to have that, being so close to the lakes region. Champlain, St. Lawrence. It's like it's always a major player in those areas. So being up this way, it's kind of a no-brainer to have that bait.
I mean, if you're a bass fisherman up this way, you're gonna be using drop shot if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the common misconceptions about a drop shot is like it has to be smallmouth and it has to be deep water, and it's like I'll fish one in foot of water, depending on what I'm going,
I caught that five in like 3.5 feet of water.
You
on
caught
drop shot.
like, what was that, 4.5, and then that 5.5 in 2 feet of water. And they weren't betting either. It was well after spawn.
On drop shot.
Yep.
It actually might have. I almost think it might have been one of those.
I'm 99% sure it was on that.
Cam wants
I'm
to
pretty
know
sure.
what our inspiration was for making that bait. Honestly, it's based off of a crosstail shad. We love that design. I love fishing that bait. We changed some things up on it. We put some ribs on it. And the funny part about it, when we went down south to test the machine and the molds and everything, a good friend of mine, Steve Sims, that I've become friends with now, he's a older gentleman, but he's really good friends with Kota Kiriyama, who designed the crosstail shad for Jackal. And he was actually there the day we were testing this mold. So I'm like, this is kind of weird, like I talked to him about it and he's like, oh no, he's like, it's definitely, it's not the same. It's, it's a different bait. And we gave him a bunch of baits and he was stoked on them. And I still talk to him to this day, we still message and stuff. So that's pretty cool.
That's pretty sweet.
A guy like him who's a big name, pretty big in my book, to kind of give our bait the check mark. So that was pretty awesome. But yeah,
that's pretty sick.
That's what it's based off of. You know what I mean? I don't know. At the end of the day, there's only so many shapes that people make.
Right.
We really liked it. It's not as wide as a crosstail shad. It has ribs where a crosstail shad is flat. That's kind of where we got it from, though. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit there and say it was like, oh wait, I drew this thing up in a napkin down my bait. I fished a crosstail shad. I really liked the bait, and we kind of wanted something similar to it, and it seemed like an all-around awesome drop shot bait, so we kind of went off of that.
Yep.
Next bait that when we bought that machine, we got 2 molds cut that time. This is the next bait here.
Yes.
So this is the Samadas 2.0. It's got the full flaps there. It also has an outer ridge.
Yeah.
The outer ridge is there because Strike King
looks really good.
owns the pattern. If you see a ridge like that on anything, they own that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
So the design is, if it's the outside edge, it's 50% larger than the inside edge. That's the Strike King pattern.
No kidding.
There are companies out there that'll use it, like Guggen and those guys, and I believe they just pay royalties to Steve, and that's how he would allow that. You know what I mean? He allows all that.
Yep.
And I'm not trying to dog anybody's baits or whatever. Like but we made it this way, so it was, it was safe and it was good. And this is probably one of that's probably one of the top selling baits too. A lot of people fish this. I'll fish it on a jig. I'll actually turn it sideways and fish it on a chatterbait.
I was just gonna say, I bet that bait with the size of those legs and how much meat there is on that outer lip, I bet that thing kicks like a bastard on the back of a bladed jig.
I'll fish it this way, and then I'll also, flip it this way for, more of a bigger profile. Sometimes I'll even cut one off, and so you just have one. Kind of looks just like a fishtail. I find when it comes to a chatterbait, you don't want a ton of action on the ass end of it. You know what I mean? Especially like you don't want to put like a big Kitech and everything doing this, and then the front,
yeah,
want less in the back. So, this bait here, the first bait I was talking about, they come 15 to a pack. This one here,
which is a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Comes 6 to a pack. This one. Yeah, Texas rig. I mean, some guys will just, I flip it. mostly just fishing on the back of a jig or like a bladed jig. But a lot of
Yep.
guys do flip this bait. Some guys will say they won't, they might not like there's not enough meat in the body flipping. I think there's plenty of meat there. Some guys like a wider bait for flipping. But I think, there's a lot of guys that definitely flip with this that like it.
I would flip it.
I'd flip it. I'm thinking because with it being a 4-inch bait, you probably be anywhere from a 3/0 to a 5/0 hook on that would be fine. But 5/0 might be a little too big.
Sometimes
4 would probably be good.
If I'm fishing a 3/0 on it, what I'll do is I'll cut it back a hair, right on the top, and then I'll just have like a little bullet weight, so it kind of fills in that gap where that bait was.
Yeah.
And I'll have my 3/0 flipping or 4/0 flipping hook. Next bait. So we have 3 sizes in this. I already held it up. This is the giant. This is the 7-inch. This is where the name came from, the slobster, just because it's so giant. But we ended up, we have 3 different sizes. We have the 4.5. Then hold on, this one here, I have a 3.5 too. I have to rip it off another one here. Of course, I have a whole building full of baits, and I don't have one in front of me. That's the 3.5, the small one. The small one, the 3.5, we actually shoot it in our softer, more buoyant plastic. A lot of guys fish those on like a Ned. I'll fish that.
Oh yeah.
If I'm fishing a jig for smallmouth, I'll fish this as my trailer. Trim it down. I'll fish the same jig I fish for largemouth, for smallmouth too. But what I'll do is I'll just trim that skirt way back and just make it
just shorten it up.
And then you trim this trailer way back, and it just has the little claws coming out of it. I fished a tournament on Winnisquam early last year, and my partner with me is. He's like a big largemouth guy, and he's throwing this big old giant jig, and he's just like, I can't get bit. And I'm like, well, you gotta downsize, like trim that thing way back. And I was catching, every 3 fish I caught, he would maybe catch 1, maybe. He had a really tough day.
And we've had those days before.
Oh, here we have.
Just trimming that back is like a much more finessey presentation, and that's when I'll use this one here. I'll also fish it on a Ned, trim it back again, and you'll have your hook come right out of kind of right between the eyes here.
Yep. You know what that would probably like absolutely kill it on? Because I've done it with other craw trailers of that kind of like same overall size, like in profile. Nico rig it with a really light nail weight. And that works killer for smallmouth.
I was actually going to get to that. So without trimming these down, we actually had one on the tank at Boxborough. My buddy Chris, who was there, he literally on the way down, he just like ran in his garage and like cut a bunch of stuff off that he had tied on that was mine, and we just threw it in the tank. But one of them is, you just put a little, Nico weight in the bottom, your band here, your little O-ring, and then, a Nico hook. Next size up is, the 4.5. This one here, I'm going to either Texas rig or I'm going to trim it back, and I'm going to fish this on a jig if I want a little bit more, a little bigger profile. This would be more targeting, largemouth, typical, flipping a jig. I'm going to fish 9 times out of 10. I have this trailer on, in this color too. So if anyone really wants to know, back on black. This bait,
I really like that
these
color.
3 baits, we actually, I'll give you the history on them. We're an open book. There's nothing that I'm sitting here and I'm gonna be like, oh, we got to keep company secrets from everybody.
Proprietary information. Everybody, don't listen.
So I don't know if you guys remember Wave. Remember Wave baits? They made like the tiki stick.
Wave.
It kind of sounds familiar, but I can't specifically recall anything about it. But the name does sound familiar.
Little blue bag.
They used to make all the Senkos that were like super swirled. They were like big into swirls before most.
Okay. Yeah.
The Wave tiki sticks, I think they call them, whatever. So we actually bought. So this was the lobster from. It was a lobster with an L. We make it a slobster because it's just a slob of a bait. We bought there are 3 production molds. So this bait here, we have the only production mold like round for, and then we got the only one of the 3.5. The 4.5, you'll still see this other companies out there because I think this is the most popular one they had. So they had a bunch of production molds. So some other companies out there have gotten that mold, but they're the only one with all 3. They're shooting them.
That's perfect.
So we bought that mold and that design from Wave because when I first released this, it always happens. You get the bait police as soon as I put anything up. Oh, that's so and so. That's so and so. You stole that idea, and it's like, and they don't even let you get a word out. We explained to them that we bought all these molds from Wave, who kind of weren't making baits anymore. So we just thought it would be 3 great additions to our lineup. So that's why we added those.
Well, it works.
Yes, it does.
Next bait, Samadas stick. It's basically a 5-inch Senko. It is different though. If you look at it, it's got a ribbed like body. So it's a little different than your typical Senko. We load these things with salt. These things fall like a Volkswagen dumped into Winnie. It's like
should put a couple more in there.
Pretty fast, and I've always liked a faster falling Senko, because if you're fishing it wacky and it doesn't have enough, so like it's gonna take forever to get down there. You know what I mean?
And it's not gonna get any action. It's just gonna fall straight down.
Yeah.
If it falls a little faster,
these when they fall, they have that wiggle. You know what I mean? All the salt in there. That's what gives them the weight and gives them that shimmy on the fall. So yeah, there's really not a whole lot to say about that. We added that because it was just having a worm was we just thought we needed.
You gotta have it.
Right. Yeah. It's such a common technique and presentation for so many people, especially beginner anglers. Like, how do you not have it?
Yeah. Right. There'll be like somebody new who's just learning how to fish, and like. If you bring someone out in your boat that doesn't really know what they're doing, what do? You give them a wacky worm. Like, yeah, dude, chuck this thing over there. That great.
What do I do now? You wait.
Yeah, what do
Feel
you
a bite?
do?
Set the hook.
You do nothing. Don't you remember the commercial? Like,
right.
They don't work for you. You don't work for them. They work for you. Hey, kid.
Yeah.
That's
kid, try this.
The deal when it comes to that. Yeah, I'm thinking about maybe making a smaller size, like a 4-inch. We're not sure yet. There's a million. I have a million things on my to-do list. But a 4-inch, I think up this way, maybe even a 3-inch would be. I think that would get people excited.
Yeah, I'm already excited for it.
What was that, Andrew? Thunk.
Hang on 1 second. Let me grab this.
Chair looks comfy.
Yeah, it does. A lot better than these chairs I got. Although at least these have some padding, and they're low.
You should invest in some nicer chairs.
I know. Well, I got my nice
boys.
office chair that I was going to bring over, but it's like it's just then it becomes like a distraction. It's this big thing. I don't know. I gotta. Okay, people, new donation goal. We need office chairs.
I need a new phone.
Down she goes. Just kidding. You need a new phone forever.
This thing's been through the freaking ringer.
All right.
Didn't drop it in the lake,
the
though.
ringer.
Sorry about that. I had to run out back and grab some more baits. The next bait we have is our chunk. So this is like.
Yeah, those things are sweet.
You wouldn't believe how many people, when I released this and I had them at like some of the shows before everything got shut down. I'm not knocking anybody, but like I had like some younger kids that just didn't even know what this was, or like, how do you rig that? And I'm like, it's a chunk trailer.
Those kids, man, kids these days they don't know about Uncle Josh's.
Right, but they see like back then this was your craw trailer, you know what I mean? But the thing still, it still gets bit, you know what I mean? Some of the biggest derbies still on the planet. One, flipping a jig with this exact color on the back. I hope no one's getting mad at me. But I mean, it's like you literally, if you go through like the Bassmaster top baits of the the tournaments and this and that, it's like somebody in that top 10 was flipping a jig with the blue chunk trail on the back, whether it's a Zoom, Super Chunk, whatever it may be. But it's that's why we added it, because it's just old school staple, and it's our tagline's tried and true, and it's this talk about tried and true is like right here,
Right.
Dude, absolutely. That like, especially in cold water, I keep telling everybody, man, like you fish something smaller like that back of a jig, you can hammer largemouth.
Oh yeah.
Like even on lakes that still have ice on it, if you can get your boat in there and there's still a little bit of ice, whatever, you throw that bait on the back of a jig and you will crush them. And then you can still do it all damn year long on that same bait.
Oh yeah. Yep. It's it's definitely a bait that gets bit. Just there's so many nowadays. You just have so many new options as trailers, whether it be a missile bait or whoever. Right? There's a million of them. They all look way cooler than a chunk. Like, so if you're catching the fisherman, you like some kid comes in. There's like a chunk. There's a D-bomb, there's a sweet, whatever, right? The guys are like, all right, I'm not picking that thing. It looks like they're just so basic looking, but they get bit.
Yeah.
Well, some of the most simple baits catch some of the biggest fish, so.
Oh, like we go back to the Senko. It's like.
Right. It's just a stick.
It looks so stupid, you know what I mean? It's just, just nothing, but.
It doesn't look like anything that's in the water. Besides another Senko.
Guilty. PB on a Senko.
Yeah.
Well, I always laugh when people say, "Oh, you fishing a Senko?" I'm like, "Yeah, I brought a lemon in. What were you fishing?" Like, what I mean?
Right.
Like,
It's another tool in the boat, man. Some days they just want something stupid simple that falls either just ridiculously slow or moderately slow. Like, sometimes simple is the way to go. And dude, especially, like, I don't know, man, I just like putting fish in the boat. And if I'm throwing everything else and they're not going for it, then I will go to that. Still gets bit.
I'm going to have to buy that chunk mold back.
yeah, Jason, you can buy it. I'll sell it to you. It's actually, it's sitting here. I don't even use, we have a big production mold we shoot those with now. But I actually was trying to sell that the other day. Somebody wanted it, and then, I don't know. It's a paperweight. I don't think I've actually ran plastic through the thing since I got it. And that was like however long ago. Next bait is the Samadas, so it's 3 3/4. If you can see that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, those swirls are sexy.
Yeah, they look sick.
That color there is called roadkill.
Roadkill?
Roadkill, like roadkill, road.
Love it.
Roadkill. yeah.
Gold in there, a little chartreusey brown. So this bait here, I mean, this isn't gonna give you a big swing, big kick. You know what I mean? I fish this on the back of a chatterbait, bladed jig, whatever we want to call it. Mainly because of the profile. You know what I mean? And it's got that little tight kick to it. It doesn't do a whole lot, like we were saying earlier. The ass end isn't doing all this.
Yep.
You could fish this on a spinnerbait as a spinnerbait trailer. I'm not a big trailer guy on spinnerbaits. I'll run a trailer hook on a spinnerbait, but I don't make spinnerbaits, so we won't get into that right now.
My man again. Love that stinger hook on a trailer, spinnerbait.
I love it. I can't fish one without it. I got a buddy who yells at me when I do it, and I don't know. It is what it is. Swim jig, same thing. You know what I mean? I'll fish this thing on a swim jig, just ripping it through the grass. And this is just a bait that I think we had to add to our arsenal. I just think it's a really all around bait when it comes to that.
I mean, you got to have a swim bait in your lineup.
We are in when I say we're in the process. I have a million things on my to-do list, but we're working on making like a more traditional. It might even be like an open pour, like big boot tail, like a legit, swim bait. So we have a million things on my to-do list. If I showed it to you, we'd be here all night. But that's something that we're thinking of adding to, like a through line or something like that.
That would be awesome. You talking like still something in that 5-ish inch range, or are you thinking there might be a possibility of like
Like 6
a
to
Mondo
7.
version of that?
Yeah,
as
well,
well?
no, we're probably gonna start with a bigger, like a 6.25, and then work our way down and maybe
Yep.
do like a couple in between sizes.
Dude, that's awesome. And like that really plays well, like especially in the big swim bait community, which you're probably very well aware of. But like, dude, when you get a really good big poor soft plastic like that, like you can't get enough of them. You catch a few big fish on them and they get torn up fairly easily because
Yeah.
it's still, okay, it's plastic, right? But it's still like a lot of mass, relatively speaking, in proportionate to its size, and you can tear them up moderately easily. But like,
Catch a
dude,
few fish on one.
yeah, but I can't get enough of them. Like I was thinking about like just trying to make my own to start pouring at home because dude, I love them. And
I have the most fun with those things.
yeah, and they're
Oh.
versatile. Like I think that's a thing that maybe not a lot of people would think of, right? If you're gonna make like say a 7-inch pour on a big ass swim bait like that, yeah, it's huge, but you can still like that. I feel will catch more fish than any of the other big swim bait things because you can fish it so many different ways. You throw it on a weedless hook, you can burn it through the grass. You can throw it up, kind of like burn it along the top. You throw it on just like a big football jig with like a giant hook. You'd probably have to have like a 6 or 7 aught. You could work it like a jig, get it down on the bottom and just kind of drag it and pop it like it's.
We sell
Yeah,
11
you'd think big swim bait,
for
but
the lobster.
see, there you go.
Perfect. You already got the hook
We
for
actually
it.
sold out of them at the show. We have to re-up, but
Oh geez.
On the hooks?
next bait that a lot of people have been waiting for. So this is the
Oh yeah.
Big boy.
5.25 Samada shot. It's a bigger version, but it's, little brother.
That looks really good.
Is that not on the website yet?
No, so the mold actually just finished getting cut, so it's going to be getting shipped to us here at the end of the week. So we're really excited about that. This one here is just out of a prototype mold, like a single cavity.
Yep.
We don't have those up yet. Once that mold comes in, we'll throw it on the machine and we'll run our base green pumpkins, black, blue, like that sort of stuff, just to get it up, and then we'll start adding some more swirl laminates, things like that.
Nice. All right, and the reason I asked, I just want to make sure I didn't miss it. But every new product you've covered, I'm dropping a link in the chat so people can see it. Then they can go and look at it directly.
Oh, that's cool. But yeah, no, that one's not out just yet, but it's very soon. That thing will be out. That bait here, it's still called the Samadas shot. I'm not saying I wouldn't drop shot this, fishing on a drop shot, but that's going to be my first, I'm going to Nico rig this. I'm going to Texas rig this. I could even fish just like a soft plastic jerk bait, like a fluke or something, just Texas rig it.
Yeah.
Through. Some guys were talking about getting them and, trim it back and fish this as like a chatterbait trailer, I don't know.
Yep.
I think there's
Carolina
a
rig
lot that you can do with this. I would even, not necessarily, I would Nico rig it, but I would also, wacky rig it with a small little nail weight, which is essentially the same thing, but it's a little different. It's a little lighter weight, so it will kind of fall at like a glide. There's just a lot of stuff I think I can do with this bait. I'm pretty stoked about it. We were gonna wait and test it all out in the spring, and I just said let's just get this thing going. This thing it's gonna get bit.
That on a shaky head would be.
Shaky head.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like a big old shaky head. Put that. So we don't really have like a shaky
Lethal.
head, like a finesse worm. This kind of covers a lot of from.
You're like 4 different baits in one right there.
Yeah, there's a ton of different applications you can do that with.
with it. And there's a ton of people down South Florida and stuff that they're not probably gonna fish this bait. This is a northern bait. There's something like this for sure. You sell this to them in June bug or black blue or whatever. They're gonna buy them down there.
I would absolutely throw that on a drop shot. There's always like a portion in the middle of the year, especially when I'm going up and fishing like Newfound Lake or Squam, or even Winnie, where like that 3.5 inch or 3.75 inch size bait is money for the majority of the year, and then definitely well into the post spawn when like, you know, they haven't really moved out into suspending mode yet, but you know, like they're deep and you're reliably catching them in like 30 to 35 feet, but still, you know, well in the bottom. There's always that window for like 3 or 4 weeks where I get my teeth kicked in if I try and stick to that smaller bait. But literally the moment I switch to a 5-inch bait in the drop shot, you light them up. So I would absolutely throw the hell out of that on a drop shot, you know, straight 6-pound or 8-pound line and just target smallies with that. I mean, that thing would get destroyed.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. You know, if we had it in the same colors, you know, I mean, it's not like it's, you know, we're talking 5 1/4. It's not like it's 20 inches long, you know.
Right.
The next bait, let's see.
I really like that.
I think on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Missing something? Like how I'm asking you.
I know, because I was keeping up with it on the website, you know, because so I could drop links. As far as soft baits go, I'm pretty sure you got everything covered.
Yeah.
You did cover how you got the Ned hooks.
Yeah, we have those there. That's really not a whole lot to go. We can go over them, but so I think this is the last bait we have here. So this is the one that a lot of people were very excited about at the show. People were pissed that I didn't actually have any. Well, I had them there. I was actually giving them away. And people wanted to buy more. Like, how do I get more? How do I get more? So that's this bait here. That's our new.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's our new Ned bait. I mean, so you can see it's kind of hard to pull, and there's ribs here. It's got a solid body on the bottom section. It's got the ribbed part here, and then in the very tip, it has a
little foreskin.
It's an air pocket.
Oh.
Can you see that?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
There's an air pocket, and we bought some glass rattles just to mess around with them. We put glass rattles in there. Some guys are talking, you know, old school guys, chunk of Alka-Seltzer. You know,
Oh yeah.
you can kind of do whatever, you know. You just kind of leave it alone. And honestly, we shot these and not even like our most buoyant plastic. It was just kind of scrap we had, and these things were standing right up in the tank on the Ned, just because that. And you can actually see the air pocket, like kind of just sticking, like air coming out of this thing, and just holding that air in there. So it definitely helps it stand up, even on like a less.
That's pretty cool.
Plastic.
That's awesome. One of the questions that chat had, Dave Richardson, for that small craw, if someone wanted a custom color, would you do it?
So when it comes to custom colors, we're not. You have to remember, we're not, you know, hand pouring these or hand injecting these. I would do a custom run, but you would have to, you know, you'd have to buy.
You'd have to buy the
3,000 meter.
That's what I was figuring.
No, and I'm not trying to sound like a hot shot, but to fire that thing up, it's got to be, you know, worth it to have, you know, my guy in here running and everything else like that. So we manufacture for other companies in house too. So there's some other brands out there that we make their stuff. And so, you know, we have minimums for them too and things like that.
Nice. So now that you've covered all the baits, well, one more question from the chat. You had already kind of touched upon it, but to reiterate that for anybody that may have missed it earlier, Carl asked, when can we order that 5 1/4 inch bait? Like, what's your rough time frame for when that should be getting ready to hit the website?
I'm hoping in a few weeks. We are doing the Sportsman Show in Springfield, and I'm hoping to have that. I'm hoping to have both the Ned. I'm hoping to have some stock of the Ned actually packaged, labeled, the whole 9. And I'm hoping to have some of the 5 1/4 for that show as well. If we don't have it,
Nice.
you know, we're going to announce as soon as we have it. Anybody that's following us on, you know, all of our social media, Instagram, Facebook, everything. As soon as we have it, we'll put it on there. So just make sure you guys go on and follow us on Instagram, Samadas Baits, and same thing on Facebook.
You heard him. Everyone go check him out.
Yep.
Go buy his stuff. It's good.
Um,
So since you covered all of your baits that you make, what is your favorite bait?
favorite bait that I make or favorite bait
That you make.
That you make.
That you
no,
make.
that you make. Although, second to that, I want to hear the
I want to
answer
hear
to
that
other
too.
question.
I don't know.
Let's start with yours. Out of everything you make, what's your favorite?
I can tell you my favorite bait on the planet. I don't want it being sold out.
All right.
That's like trying to say which one of my kids do I love more.
The first one.
I love her. I love him. I love them all.
I know.
The one I love the most is one that's not pissing me off the most that day.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't talk
love
right
them
now,
all.
so
They all have their place. You know what I mean?
it's true.
It would
Yep.
be like saying,
It's
like,
true.
you know, what, I don't know, like, what golf club do you like the best? It's, I don't know, well, where am I on the course, you know?
So, all right, let's
True.
phrase it another different way then. Out of all your baits that you have, which one do you use for the most varied techniques?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
I didn't understand it.
I'd say
I'm just
it.
kidding.
I was going to say, I will slap you.
I'd say the Chromatis.
Yep.
Yeah, you throw it on a
It's just-
jig trail. You can Texas rig.
It's
you can
very
do anything.
versatile, you know? You kind of use it a little bit of everything.
Nice.
Yeah, no, this bait I fish a ton of. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just 'cause
Well, that was another. Go ahead.
I fish a black jig. Like anyone that's ever fished with me, it's like black jig, black 4.5 lobster. You know.
And actually, real quick, chat. If you guys have questions, like start firing them out now. We still have plenty for ourselves to ask, but I would like to hear more questions from the chat for anything else that maybe we didn't cover. If you're looking more specific details, anything Jamie has covered, by all means, go for it. Another quick reminder for those that are watching: if you haven't done it yet, please drop a like on the stream. It helps us more than you know. People that are watching this after the fact, not live, leave a comment on the video as well. Even if you guys come back and drop a comment, like that's another big driver for the YouTube algorithm that, just helps us grow. And then another friendly reminder on the donations. You can do it any one of three ways. You can drop it in the chat here if you have your account set up for that through YouTube, or down the video description below. You can find a link to both our PayPal and our Venmo. We're getting really close to that next goal for all new GoPros on the boat. So literally every dollar you guys drop helps immensely. We're gearing up for spring. We've already got some of those new GoPros in, so we're well on our way. But again, if you have more questions for Jamie, get them in. I want to hear them. I want to see them.
Let me grab. I have a couple more things here that I can grab and kind of go over with some people too. Give me 1 sec.
Okay,
Great.
go for it. And actually, chat, while you're here, while we're waiting for Jamie to come back with stuff, one of the other things that he does have on the website that we didn't touch upon yet, if I could see what we're doing, I'll drop a link in a second here.
It's
You can
pretty
get,
neat.
yeah, it's nice. So you can get a 5-pound random soft plastic order, and it's, as he says,
Literally a random picking of 5 pounds of plastics. Like there's the stick baits, there's the slobsters, they're everything in there.
Yep.
Literally everything.
includes stock and one-off colors too, is what he does say. So there you go. There's for that. If you can't decide on what you want to get, and you want to get a little bit of everything, for $20 you can get a lot of a little bit of everything with a ton of options. So by all means, take a look at that. We had another question from Chad. Oh no.
Chad's always firing stuff off,
Yeah, he is.
either at you or for you.
What are you guys talking
trying to
about?
answer
The soft
questions.
plastic, the random box?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hold up. Okay, so yeah, so I did the 5 pounds random soft plastic thing so that people could jump on that. But one question I got from my coworker here, do you make or plan on making chatterbait trailers, and what colors? Chad, we already covered that. Where the hell were you?
Higher than I am.
Chad probably is.
What's the
Chad, pay attention. That was a Swim Mattis, 3.75 inch Swim Mattis. There should be a link up in the chat.
Yeah, so
Scroll
that
your
one
ass back
there,
up there.
We have like green pumpkin black. There's a pearl white trash, road gill galactic sun banged up, which is like a black and blue. We got a few
Banged up at black, and that's an awesome name.
different options. These are pretty cool. We just added these just recently.
Ooh.
Well, I like that.
Basically, I started using a very similar bag, just storing all my stuff on my boat. So we just ordered a ton of them and, got our logo on there. We actually had a really good deal. We sold a ton of them at the show. It was like 11 packs for $50, and it came in this bag. So there's a lot of guys loading these things up with them, and it's just an easier way to store our, tackle, waterproof. You put with anything you want in there, really,
Good for the GoPros.
That's a good point.
We're touching on the Neds we carry. Although,
Yep.
even though we don't make them, I can just kind of go over and show you, what we do carry. So this one here, we actually sold a ton of these because a lot of guys couldn't find these. This is that offset.
I like those. Those look really good.
That's an offset tungsten head. It doesn't have like a super heavy wire hook, but you're not gonna be flipping into shit with this.
Right.
You can fish this. I would fish this on spinning tackle with lighter line, setting your drag and stuff like that. Some guys think, oh, I'm gonna flip this thing on braid or something, and that's not what this is designed for.
You got to pass your freaking feet.
Yeah. Like.
Right.
Good for Demiki.
This one here is a weedless one. It's got these little metal guards on there. You can spread them out.
Oh.
The one that I fish the most is just your standard Ned, which is this one here. I do like these. They got a strong hook on them. They're not gonna bend out. That's the biggest problem you get, like the Z-Man ones and stuff. I feel like a lot of times those hooks just bend out on you. These hooks,
Oh yeah. Don't even get me started on that. Remember?
I don't even want to talk about it.
This one's got a stout hook. It also has a like a keeper on there too. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, it's almost like a little wire keeper.
Yeah. So it's good.
Yeah, those I like that style a
just
lot.
Help peg your plastic on there a little better so you're not always dicking around with it. The worst is like when it's always coming up and you're like, all right, I gotta fix that, and then you gotta get out the blue super glue and start gluing it on.
I love my blue super glue.
You've gone through a lot of that.
I have.
Another thing we just added to the site, and it seems silly. Actually, I was surprised how many people came up and asked me what these were at the show. Like,
I saw that. You got a whole bucket of them.
yes,
Yep.
Yeah, it's just a wacky tool, But it's made of plastic.
Yep.
They float. There's no screw on the end. Like, the other ones you have to unscrew to put things back on. You can just reload the other end is tapered too, so you can just reload your O-rings right up and over it.
Oh, that's mint.
They're short money that we sell them for, but it's
You got a big freaking box of them. How do you not see them?
No, I didn't get a chance to. And now I'm really upset. Well, I'm just going to have to order one anyway because, I like the fact you said waterproof. I may have lost 2 or 3 of those over the years going overboard.
They float, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've kicked these things over so many times. Like, you just get up and you turn and you boot and you see the thing going. Now you kick these over, they just float. You go scoop it up and you're good to go. They're bright red. They stand out. I still have my 15 on my boat because I'm always like, "Where's that wacky tool?" And then I'm like, I think it's in here. Oh nope. Oh, here it is. And then once I find this one, then I find the other 2 I think I lost. So we started carrying these. Just again, another thing that we sell plastic, so why not sell the tool that you use to put a wacky rig on? But I did have a ton of people that didn't know what it was, and I showed them, and it was like, I just created fire. They were like, "Oh, what an idea!" I'm like, "I didn't invent it." I'm like, this isn't like
things have been around forever.
But,
You got a floating one though.
That plastic box you guys are talking about, yeah, that's a really good deal. We started doing that because we make so many baits here. And when we're changing colors over, say we try to always chase one color with the next color, and like I've been doing this long enough that I know like what colors to chase out with the other ones, meaning like how to do them. Like if we're gonna make,
Right.
we're not gonna start with a black bait and then try to chase it with the white. You know what I mean? We're gonna try to work our way to that. So
Yeah, go
start,
darker to
light,
lighter.
work our way dark. Also with glitters and things like that, ones that more are like and things. But there's going to be that time in between when you're pushing it through and you have these odd colors. Not bad colors. Some of them are my favorite colors. What I don't want to do is I don't want to take those and put them on the website and then not be positive that we're going to be able to reproduce that exact color and then have everyone get all, hey, how come I can't get this color again? Well, yeah, like kind of just got lucky there. You know, it was weird.
I mean, we went the other day to a local hardware store where they have some fish. They have a fishing aisle, and we went to go get the Z-Man tubes for Lakers, thinking they might have some white ones. Well, they had I forget the name of the color, but the deal. Yep. But it was so washed out, it was almost white, and I was like, I kind of want these for all the time. But
well, I have buddies that'll stop by the shop, and they're always digging through the oddballs.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to find a bait that's just nobody really, just a weird color. You know what I mean? And they usually, oh yeah, I want some of these. I want some of these. So what we ended up doing is, like we have so much stuff hanging in racks, and there's only so much, I can fish it or people can fish it. So we just started, hey, why don't we offer these boxes? You know what I mean? It's a good way for someone, if they have no idea who we are, they can get that and kind of get a little bit of everything in there,
yeah, it's a good idea.
And it's just, it's better than us just, what are we gonna do? Go throw it all away? That's wasteful. The last thing I want to do is start, wasting everything. We regrind all of our, runners and things like that come off because there's a big section. Hold on 1 second. I'll grab a runner so you guys can see like kind of what comes out of the machine, so you have an understanding of how many baits come out at once. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are gonna be curious to see that. I've seen it from pictures.
I've seen it before, but it's not. You don't really get the whole sense of it until you actually see it.
Right. So real quick while we're waiting on Jamie, I just put in the chat, but holy crap, Sean.
Yeah, dude.
Thank
you
hell very, very much for the $100 donation, dude. That was huge.
Thanks, dude.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And then Carl and Dave also throwing in donations. You guys are the best. Thank you very much. We are absolutely killing it tonight on these donations. Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm gonna blubber on like an idiot. I love you guys.
Crying.
You're the best.
What did that do?
Huh? We had 2 phantom mics on it. I'm just hoping it's not like kicking out like a phantom friggin' rattle.
All right. I brought a couple.
Holy crap!
Oh yeah.
Like this here. This is our color primo in our Samadas shop. There's 66 baits on this.
Holy crap!
And so this runner, this piece like in the middle, this comes off, and then all your baits just pull right off. So then you have that whole runner left over. This is banged up, our swim bait. But you have, this one's 64 every runner. So every time the machine opens up, there's, that's how many baits come out of the mold. So you can see how quick they can add up,
Well, how long does it take for it to get poured and then ready at that stage right there to get taken off the runner?
It's all pretty fast. You know what I mean? Depending on the bait, size of the mold and stuff, cycle times are a top secret. No, they're like, roughly a minute to 2 minutes.
Oh wow, that's quick.
It's So it's
Damn.
pretty. You kind of turn and burn everything, But like the middle there, that runner, depending on what we're doing, like this bait here is a laminate, and bottom one color, top another color, or if it's like a swirl, a lot of times those runners are kind of useless to us. Usually we'll save them and just grind them up, and when we're shooting like prototypes, we'll use that sort of stuff. But the
Yeah.
ones, if it's like a black bait or like a green pumpkin or candy, something that's like a solid with flake, there's not like two colors that gotta go mixed. Those there will, we'll grind up and reintroduce to our drums when we're shooting, to try to prevent, waste.
Nice.
But that's why when it comes to, I was getting at with like the boxes of the random baits, it's like we don't want to
Just waste it
just
all,
get
throw
rid
it
of
away.
and waste it, you know what I mean? Sell it there, and if we can't, if we don't sell it there, I'd rather give it to like, some kids fishing clubs or something like that, you know what I mean? Just something,
Right.
have somebody use it,
And we got a little random. Well, go.
Well,
Okay,
before
go ahead.
that, I have another question from Chad from the chat here. How many shots are in your mold?
Wait, what?
How many shots do you get per mold?
Per mold?
I should say, how many baits do you get? Well, actually, no. He's legitimately asking how many shots do you get per mold? Because like with regular injection molding, right? Like in a manufacturing environment with like heavy duty plastics and stuff, there's only so many shots you get per mold before things basically start to wear out and the overall finished product becomes too distorted. But with bait making plastics, it's nowhere near as aggressive than it would be in a manufacturing environment. So how many baits can you get out of a mold before you're going to have a new one cut?
Oh no, you can make trillions.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah.
It's just soft.
They're CNC aluminum. Each side is, this thick.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
They're heavy duty.
What do you know what series aluminum you have them made out of?
I don't
Is it
know.
6061? Okay, then if my guess would be probably just 6061, which is pretty
we would have to
run-of-the-mill aluminum.
We would have to get my mold maker on here, and he doesn't talk to the public.
Carl did have another question. What's your thoughts on scent? At times, I do see a major difference with power bait. Power bait and max scent.
Do you want my real answer?
Yeah. Don't sugarcoat it. We want to hear it, man.
So I think scent can matter. I also think scent is like the emperor's clothing. I think you put it on and you think that the fish are gonna want to eat it more. I think most of the time we're giving bass way too much credit. We're getting like crazy. I feel like a lot of times it's, they go back. Yeah, I guess if it's a reaction bite, there's not enough time for them to smell that. Like they're not going over to
right.
Now if they're being super finicky and stuff, then yeah, I mean, I think it's. I don't know. I don't think it is the magic. I don't think there's a magic potion out there.
For what it's worth, chat and Jamie, I wholeheartedly agree. I do use scent at times for those days, specifically for that, like when I feel like they're being finicky and okay, maybe I do need something of a difference maker to help get them to commit. But dude, if they're hammering it, they don't care what color it is. You've got your fall rate, your profile, and your colors right, man. You don't have to worry about scent.
I'm the same way. Like if you're fishing against me and you see me on the front deck spraying a bait, I'm having a fucking shitty day. Like
I say the same thing about when you see me with the Senko on the deck.
Yeah.
Let me grab. I'll grab one of our flipping jigs too. Show you guys that real quick.
Yeah, let's see it. Tony said, "I feel smallmouth get more scent reactive, but not convinced it matters much."
I think they're more for color. And
Bingo.
size.
I was gonna say, like, I don't know. I don't feel like that scent has ever really made a difference from what we've done out there.
Have you ever tried sniffing something underwater? Doesn't really fucking work now, does it?
You know what? I feel cheated. Ben said he was going to be on here to drop dad jokes to you, and I never saw it. Unless it was at the very beginning of the show and I missed it.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, for me, for smallmouth, like, we've thrown a whole variety of baits in literally, like, the same everything. Same size, same color, just the whole 9 yards, but from totally different manufacturers. So you get one, like Strike King, right? Coffee scented heavily, and then you get something like Chompers, which is, like, the grossest garlic scent.
Oh, man.
It's
gnarly.
Right, but it'd be two baits, literally the same size, same color, same glitter, like the whole 9 yards, and it doesn't make a difference. like 9 times out of 10. I would even say 99 times out of 100.
It doesn't hurt to make your bait smell though, is on those off days where you do need it.
Exactly. But yeah, but I don't think it's that important where it's like.
So that's one of our jigs there. That's
Alec, yes, I have. It's terrible.
That's the color black magic that he was talking about earlier.
I like that a
Yeah,
lot.
that was
That was
like
really
a
good.
green pumpkin blue with like a black blue. This one has a heavy wire Gamakatsu on it with the keeper.
Yeah, dude, you were showing me
with
those,
the
and I'm
perfect
like
bait keeper.
real excited about that.
Yeah.
That's one style we carry. It has it's like a rocker head. It's kind of more of like a triangle flat. This is more of an arky head. They're both considered, flipping jigs, really, if the true meaning of a flipping jig. That's like the arky head.
Yep.
And that one just has like your casted in keeper on it.
Yeah, look at the size of that freaking hook. That's amazing.
Oh yeah.
This
Oh,
one
stout.
here is a 4-aught heavy wire Gamakatsu. I feel like a heavy wire Gamakatsu is the only hook you should have flipping jig.
In a jig. Like, just a heavy ass hook.
I could pull your Toyota pickup truck in the lake with that thing, That's like, yeah, they cost a little more money, but I just think that's just the hook you need. You know what I mean? I think you could skimp out. The last thing I want is like when I'm fishing a jig and they eat it, I want to be able to just cross their eyes. You know what I mean? And not worry about.
Oh yeah.
Not worry about that hook bending out. You see the thing jumping and not being like, oh, is this hook going to be strong enough? You know what I mean? That's the last thing I want on my mind. It's very, 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 very rare that I lose a fish on a jig. And I think
Unless it's a small one and it grabs it by the trailer.
Because I have that hook on my jig, though. You know what I mean? That thing gives me all the confidence I need.
The bigger the hook on the heavier the hook on a jig, the better.
The happier I am.
Yeah, oh yeah. Because we like to rip the faces off these fish when we set the hook on the
swings,
jig.
my friend. Home run swings.
It's fun. It is
that's
fun.
One
I
of my
love
big concerns with too is like getting a tungsten jig made overseas. I can't ever get like a straight answer out. I'm like, I want to use a Gamakatsu like heavy wire hook, and they're like, oh, we have very sharp hook. It's a great hook. I'm like, well,
Yeah, okay, it's sharp, but is it gonna
right.
handle?
And we've gotten samples, and the hooks. It's all right. I just not what I want. I like a compact. Don't want like a super. Some people have those Pro Series hooks. They're like the big kind of. I don't even know. You know what I'm talking about? It's like a big swoop.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want like a tight little compact nugget that I can just. Bloop.
Right, pretty much a football jig with a skirt on it, with a heavy ass hook.
I fish an Arky head, 95% of the time.
It's funny you say that because for years, I don't even know how many years, whenever I first started fishing a jig, all I fished was a football jig. And then when I got on with the Dragon Custom Tackle team, and the owner, John, we were talking about jigs one day, and he's like, why don't you fish anything else other than football? And I'm like, honestly, never really knew there was other ones per se. I just never stopped to think about it because I always killed with the football. And he's like, let me introduce you to the world of the Arky. And it's one of those, like, I knew of it, I saw it, I never bothered to fish it because if I'm fishing in veggies, I typically would prefer to Texas rig anyway at that time. And then I finally started fishing an Arky, and I'm like you now, man. Like, I fish an Arky. I would not as often as you do, but definitely the majority of the year because while it doesn't stand great like a football jig, you can still work it through rocks just fine. But then the moment you go from rock to veggie, which in New England, that's like 90% of the friggin' bodies of water you fish around here. You're fishing all that mixed structured vegetation. it's really hard to beat an Arky. You know, one jig, it's the jack of all trades. You can make it do everything you need to, and regardless of what you're fishing, it's just going to work.
Yeah, I like it. I'm a big fan.
I like it.
Big fan of it.
What we got here?
Arky.
Oh! Andrew's mom, I love you so much.
What, Mom? Why don't you just give me the money?
Carla, Andrew's mom, just donated $50. Carla, thank you very much.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Mom.
it. And take your mom out for a nice fancy seafood dinner.
More Cumberland
Gotta
Farms
call her.
cheeseburgers for you now.
Hell yeah!
Um,
I actually got my landlord's wife made me some sausage soup when I get home.
nice.
Before I forget, I kind of wanted to give a plug to where I'm going to be next.
Yeah, do it so that for anybody that wants to come visit you at any of the next shows, they can do that. I know that there's potential for you at the New Hampshire Outdoor Expo, but there's another one that you're definitely going to.
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to. I'm not very prepared here with this.
It's all good.
Well, I want to make sure I get the dates right.
Can you write that? What she did there, please?
What? Oh,
So the
Trying to keep track.
next place we're going to be is the Springfield Sportsman Show. And that is February 25th through the 27th. The Eastern States Exposition. I guess that's home of the Big E. I don't know about
Oh
the
yeah,
Big
yeah.
E. The Enron?
but that's
No, the biggie, like the
Just kidding.
Shut up. That was it. It's like a big like farm trade show thing. I think something like that.
Really?
Yeah, if memory serves correct. But yeah, down in Springfield, Mass.
correct. And then we're also going to be at the Connecticut Fishing and Outdoor Show, March 25th through the 27th. That's at Mohegan Sun. So if you want to come
I kind of want to go to that.
buy some baits and lose your shirt at the blackjack table, great to do it.
I've never been to a casino. I kind of want to go to that just so I can like have
It's a bad idea.
reason.
For your wallet.
No, dude, I'm really responsible with stuff like that. Now, in a tackle shop, totally different story, man. All bets are off. But like when I like, because there used to be a poker hall here in town, and like they had cheap tournaments on Sundays, and be like, okay, I'm going with $40. I don't care how the day goes. That's all I'm spending for buy-ins, and I never ever spent more than that.
Yeah, you haven't been to a casino though.
No,
When they're
but
feeding
you're
you
right.
drinks for free because you're gambling.
Yeah, but I don't drink really. So
You
they
will
can
when
try.
you get to a casino.
No, I'm good. I can't. It's just not for me. Plus, the other thing is like, no,
Yeah,
like
you can.
there's a reason why I'm gone, right? My father-in-law loves to gamble. He doesn't go quite as often as he used to, but he's the same way. He'd set whatever his budget is, and like this is the highest dollar amount I am willing to piss away for the whole weekend, and
How
I'm
much
not going to
money
lose sleep over
Did
letting
you
it
put
go
away for the expo?
Me?
Yeah.
I had no budget for the
Oh,
expo.
okay. All right.
So when it comes to fishing, I don't give a damn. But that's the thing. Like,
okay.
if I go gamble, like my wife could come downstairs and be like, "Yeah, you know what? That sounds great, Sean. You should go to that and go to Mohegan and not here's $500 for the whole weekend just for gambling." And I would get that $500. I'd be like, "Think of all the baits I could buy." And I already have $500 to buy on baits, but now I have $500 more.
Hey, if you had $500, you could sleep out 2 nights in a row and get 2 piz.
Right, and then make $4,000.
Damn, that's a good idea.
The
I
other
should start buying those
show
big
is
baits.
You have Dan's New Hampshire show. That's before that Connecticut one, right?
Yes, the New Hampshire Outdoor Expo.
March,
I have
I
to double
believe.
check. It is in March. Hold the phone.
The end of March, right? The 28th.
In H Outdoor.
27th.
Come on, phone,
It's
hurry
earlier
up.
than that. It might. Is it really earlier than that? Oh.
Yep, New Hampshire Outdoor Expo at the Hampshire Dome in Milford, New Hampshire. It's right off the intersection of Route 13 and Route 101. It is March 11th, 12th, and 13th.
Correct. So I'll be Springfield, end of February. I'm probably going to end up New Hampshire there, and then I'll
better
do the
get there.
Connecticut one.
Nice. We can all go to the bar Saturday after the, hell, even Friday night too, for the New Hampshire one. It'd be great.
Tony,
I gotta
thanks
work
for the
Saturday.
kind words. Tony just loves my boat. That's the only reason he's being nice to me.
You have a beautiful boat, by the way.
Thank you.
We did miss a comment from Owen Outdoors. That'll be the last one for a moment, so that we have one last question from Andrew too. But Owen asked, do you have any plans on making a brush hog style bait?
Not currently, no. I'd say if you want to get a brush hog, there's plenty out there, you know. And that's not, I'm not trying to be rude. I just, that of my million things on my to-do list, that's not on it.
There you go. Okay, so we already asked it. I'll do one more from the chat because Sean did ask it, and you seemed a little hesitant to answer. But I'm going to throw it at you again. No pressure to actually answer it, though. What's your favorite bait that you don't make?
Buzzjet by Depps.
The what?
Buzzjet.
Buzzjet.
I feel like I've heard of it, and I've probably seen a picture of it, but I can't picture off the top of my head right now.
It's got a prop. It's a wake bait. It's about as big as I get when it comes to like throwing baits. But
yeah.
That bait, I will have that tied on from the ice out to ice in. And anyone that knows me, that fishes me, I always catch big fish on it.
Thomas Gagnon said, shh, secrets.
Yeah, whatever. Everything's been around forever. It's the bait's phenomenal. And actually, a buddy of mine.
Oh yeah.
A buddy of mine that I fish with.
Oh.
Let me borrow it. I was going to a particular lake. I won't say the lake, but I was going there, and he said, "Hey, this bait smokes him on there." He's like, "I've done really well with it." So I said, "All right." So he let me borrow it. I came back, and I hadn't seen him for a while, and then, I don't know if he's watching or not, but I don't know if it was like because of COVID. I don't think he wanted the bait back. It was like that's back when people were like scrubbing their groceries.
Oh.
So he's like, "I don't know, man." He's like, "Just keep it." I'm like, "Well, let me give you money." He's like, "No." So I've had it ever since, and I'm so happy he let me borrow it. And that's the bait, man. The only thing I did was I changed the hooks out on it. The stock hooks are trash. It only took me like losing like 10 awesome fish to be like, yeah, I gotta change these. I've caught stripers on it, big old smallies, giant largies, like everything on it.
Nice.
That's sick. How big is it? Like 3 or 4 inches? Or is it like 2 inches?
There's 2 different sizes. The one I have, I don't even know how. I'm terrible when it comes to like the specs of it and all that. I just
like
know
this
it's
big.
About, this big.
Oh, it's mint.
Yeah, 4.5 inch bait.
I got that thing tied on all the time. It just slays.
Try that.
Yeah,
it looks good.
I don't even know.
Carl asked, "Is it
the Buzzjet Junior?" I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Tell him get the big
You're
one.
just like me. What do you throw? I don't fucking know. It works.
Whatever Sean has in his boat, that's what Andrew throws.
Like he handed it to me. I went and fished it, and I've caught like smallies in 40 feet of water, and then I've caught other fish in a foot of water with it. You know what I mean? I'm speechless. I love it.
Nice. All right, Andrew, hit him with that question. It's a little different, little off the cuff here, but hit him.
Any 1 or 2 anglers in the industry you would like to fish with, who would it be and why?
Let's see. Who would I want to fish with?
It could be anybody.
Anybody?
Anybody. It doesn't have to be a pro. Doesn't have to be us.
I would probably like to have a day on the water with Steve Kennedy because that dude is just awesome guy in general.
Dude, the nicest dude ever.
And he's an absolute hammer. So just fishing with him would be pretty cool.
And his boat has a freaking tiger on it.
Seth Fighter, I think, would be the second one.
Yeah, llama.
Yeah, he just seems like a rad guy, and it
Crankspots.
never seems to take anything too serious, and he'd probably be a good time.
Absolutely. I like those 2 answers.
Yeah, honestly, that's probably who I want to go with too.
I mean, Fighter's on my short list. If I had to pick any 2 people, it would honestly be a toss-up between Polnick and Zona because of
Zona,
the areas of the country.
Zona's a good pick, too.
Yeah, and they both seem so well spoken too that they've got that coherent high energy, you know what I mean? Like they'll get all jacked up and have just as much fun with you, but they're not obnoxious about it, and they could sit there and I feel like they could probably explain any one technique of fishing 1,000 different ways. And then same with fighter, like they all kind of seem from like that same cut of cloth where, especially where they have that northern experience, but they're all still kill it when they're down south too. Like I
would
envy
just
those
want
guys.
to see. I would want Kennedy to go like, I don't know what to do with my hands. Like, he's so,
I don't
that
like
guy
this
is
rod.
Just like salt of the earth, you know.
Yeah. God, it was him, right? Last year, I can't remember, they were fishing that river, and he was fishing, like, it was really high water, and he was fishing below the dam, and he had that, like, 5-pound smallie on the spinnerbait. Yeah.
Sean, you're wrong.
Hey, this
What am I wrong?
No, not you. The other.
Oh,
this bait here, right here, he cashed a check on this one.
hell yeah.
Did he really?
Oh yeah, I gave
That's
him to him
awesome.
at the expo that year, and he went down. He was fishing on a swim jig, like burning it on the top. He got up to the stage, and he's like, "I was catching them all like a big old lobster, you know." I'm like sick. 'Cause he loved that bait. He wouldn't stop talking to me. Like he sat at the table and he just wanted that bait, loved that bait. I actually went home that night and found more of the colors he was looking for, and brought him in like a big care package. So that was pretty rad.
Dude, he's funny.
I don't want to
He's a
get
good
off track though. What do you got? What's next?
Honestly, from us, that was it. That was the last one. That was one of the ones that was...
I thought it was like a...
Nope. That was...
Nah, we're not going to bombard you.
No, I mean, it's at this point, we've almost been at this for 2 hours. That's kind of our usual, like, cutoff point, but we... Wait, what did Paul say? Def the putter, you asked? What? I don't even know what he's talking about.
It's Paula.
That's my mother-in-law.
Oh.
Hi, Paula.
Hello. No, man, that was it. Like, you know, the big thing.
She's saying, because she's a golfer. She's an LPGA pro. No, I'm just kidding.
We bow to the... I'm a great golfer. I mean, I have the highest score every time we go out.
I bet I could beat you on the highest score.
You probably could. There was one day I shot like 102, and I felt like
Is that good?
No, it's not.
I don't know.
I just wanted to get below 100 for the first time in my life, and I had 2 snowmen. It hurt.
I don't know what that means. Sure.
I shot an 8 twice.
Oh, okay. That's not good.
I don't know.
It hurt.
I fish.
I don't know any.
People go,
Yeah.
"Oh, you golf?" And I'm like, when would I do that?
Right? Yeah, in between working and fishing, sure, I can find time to go out and spend $60 to go out and just walk grass for 4.5 hours.
I used
I wanna walk grass
I used
ago.
to be pretty sick at Tiger Woods, but
Then he came at you with a golf club.
Oh, God. So, no, dude, I mean, that's it. Jamie, if there's anything else you wanted to talk about, but, you know, we always try and keep it about 2 hours. We try and keep the flow good, keep the questions coming, cognizant of everything that's going on in the chat. Everybody's been great tonight so far for like pretty much the whole night for questions. You know, I kept writing in the chat, gave everybody plenty of chances. Now, anybody have any last minute questions, now's the time to get them in. But for my part, I'm good. I covered everything, and you know, Jamie, we greatly thank you for coming on tonight, man, to talk about, you know, your company and all of your products and everything, and the whole on yours. So,
Are you going to be fishing any tournaments this year?
I haven't decided what I'm fishing. There are a ton of really awesome opens. That Douglas rod opens; those look pretty good. The Berkshire Trail, those guys are running. Oh, we're working on a deal with getting our stuff over in Berkshire too. Met with
that'd be
Spencer and
sweet.
those guys the other day. So there's a ton of good stuff out there. I don't know what I'm fishing just yet. I'm fishing for sure. I don't have anything locked in just yet. My wife's probably listening. She's like, "Oh, you're not locked in. All right."
We're all going to see his shadow on the wall behind him. It's going to be his wife sitting there, be like, "So, go ahead, tell me how many tournaments you fishing this year."
You should do the Champlain one
I'll
for Berkshire.
I want to jump in a bunch of those opens this year, and we'll see what I can do.
Nice, man. Well, go ahead, take a minute and plug all your website, your social media, the whole 9 yards, man. The stage is yours. Go for it.
So SamadasBaits.com, as you can see, Sean's been nice enough to put all the links in there. Again, we do have 35% off. So basically all the baits I showed you, except for the 2 prototypes that aren't out yet, they're all available on the site. Right now it's 35% off. you don't have to do anything. The pricing just automatically updates when you put it into your cart. So go on there, check that out. We're on, Instagram. We try to be very active on Instagram. Samadas Baits. We're on Facebook too. I have my own personal page that I'm always sharing my own stuff there. But yeah, that's really it. Thanks for having me on here. It's,
Absolutely.
I can't believe we've been on here for 2 hours. That was really fast.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I was able to inform you guys about all the information about the company, and hopefully you know a little bit more about it. And yeah, that's about
How'd
it.
you get the name? Just kidding.
I feel like a dumbass. That's a fucking great question. We never even stopped to think to ask it.
What's that?
Hey, you know what? In all fairness, when I said talk about the history of the company, that would have been a great time to bring it up.
What's that?
Where did the name Samadas come from?
My last name.
Yeah, you idiot.
I did know that. I'm an idiot. I've had a very long day.
Well, I've always said like. I always thought,
Okay, I set you up
you
for that.
see like Ford, and you're like, oh, like last name. You know what I mean? Like, if
Right.
when this thing is gigantic, that's my last name, and then my kids can be like, oh, this is my. You know what I mean? It's like
It's my name.
I just always thought my name should be on it.
For the record, I really did know that was your last name. I'm so fucking tired. And I'm really gullible. And when he said it like that,
He's
my
very
brain was just like, Sean, you messed up again. Why didn't you ask such a simple question? I'm like, how did I not know this?
It's all good.
I got you.
You did, you dick.
Awesome.
Jesus Christ.
Thanks again,
I
guys.
need
I really appreciate
go
it.
to
It was
bed.
fun. You guys do a great job on here as always, and
Oh, thank you.
I'm happy to see you guys growing. I mean, it seems like the channel and this, and you guys just get bigger every week. I feel like so.
Yeah, dude, it really is growing every single week, little bit by little bit. Sometimes we have big jumps, like last week having Beast Coast on, we had another big jump. Like, we'll stay on the call when we end the stream because I want to show you the stats, but like this was a huge jump tonight. Like, it's been phenomenal. We owe so much of that to all the subscribers. Like, we've made it a point to ask for the help because you cannot grow on this platform without the help of your community to help spread the word, share with friends, share with family, share just with other forums, Facebook groups, like the whole 9 yards. Like, that is such a huge component of being able to reach that higher tier with everything. And, our subscribers have absolutely been phenomenal and extremely instrumental in doing that and helping us get to that next stage. So it's been awesome growing together, being able to bring in, guys like you so that we can just continue to help also just spread the knowledge and information on the scene here in the Northeast. So it's always good we can get another New Hampshire based company on here.
Yeah, you've been on podcasts before and you've been known for a while now. And I mean, if somebody on here had no idea who you were, at least we're helping you reach at least one more person.
Right.
One hand washes the other, right?
Right.
Yeah. John said that a lot at the expo this weekend. I don't even
Are
remember
you guys
why.
washing your hands together?
Just walking in the bathrooms. It's weird.
Awesome.
No. Yeah, again.
Get those plaques.
Thank you very much.
When it's sold out, 35%. You're not going to get a better deal.
Get them what you can,
Yeah,
friends.
everybody go over there and buy something right now.
Yep. So otherwise, yeah, Jamie, stay on the phone after you kill the stream. We'll keep talking for a few minutes. Andrew, sign it off.
Like every Wednesday, come back next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. We'll be here. What do we have next week? Is it a secret?
Oh, God, what'd I do?
I think it's a secret.
Oh, no.
Okay, we got a secret. All right, we will see you guys next weekend.
I broke
Next
the stream.
week, it's going to be a good one. Did you break the stream? How do you
Hang on.
get us out of here?
I
wanna go
accidentally,
home.
well, I got 3 monitors set up, and I accidentally clicked on the 3rd monitor. I didn't realize it, so I completely broke the screen capture for Discord, so Jamie's gone. I mean, like, video-wise, he's gone, but he's here in spirit, folks.
All right,
Hey, he's there. R.I.P.
I'll get you.
But as far as next week, we'll let you know the moment we know. Right now, it is like 90% confirmed.
And it's big.
Bigly big.
Bigly big.
Which would be dope. So
Yep.
we'll keep you posted. Make sure you follow all of our social media as well. If you're looking for Jamie, obviously there's a link to his website in the chat. Otherwise, it's down in the video description below for those that are watching it here on YouTube after the fact. It's already there in the video description. So jump on it whenever you can and get on that sale while you can as well. So anyway, back to you again. Signing off.
See
Big
ya.
hand. Have a good night, everybody.